Rogue One. One thing I was interested in seeing was how this would attempt to differentiate itself from the other Star Wars films. The answer? By becoming a little more like every other movie. Not declaring war because of the omission of ubiquitous screen wipes, and trying to be different isn't a bad thing by itself, but some things just really stick out like a sore thumb, like the generic action movie location text. However, I do think that it's done better here than in most places, as the text will sometimes provide extra information regarding the political state of these sites, even if it could be much more smoothly done in dialogue. Another difference from the main series Star Wars films is in the direction. Things are more from the perspective of the average foot soldier facing a huge scary world rather than of massive starships and landscapes. The camera is often faced upwards rather than flat or looking down. Thankfully, having led production of 2014's Godzilla, Gareth Evans really knows how to make big things feel big. Additionally, the battle choreography is much more reminiscent of modern military films than the traditional fantastical Star Wars skirmishes. I wasn't quite as amazed by the writing. The entire first half is kind of messy, there's plenty of tonal inconsistencies and a whole lot of just meeting characters and learning what they do. Speaking of the characters, while none of them really unlikable, some the exact opposite. None are particularly well developed or interesting in any capacity. Dialogue and plot are also generally unexceptional, but the excellent third act makes up for quite a bit. Editing is also a lot more, let's say, conventional. Shots are much shorter, to the point where I never really got super invested in any individual one. Additionally, the camera is almost never still, although that's not really a point against, as it works better with the quicker cuts. The visual effects are also good for the most part, nothing really stand out, but there's one thing worth mentioning. For characters from the original trilogy that couldn't exactly appear young in this movie, they used motion capture to try to give the appearance of the originals. It doesn't really work too well, but I have to say that they at least tried something interesting. There are some other minor issues I have.
Why this Stormtrooper doll?
But overall, Rogue One is a fun watch that manages to have some great scenes and stands out from the other Star Wars films just enough to have its own identity. If you really enjoyed The Force Awakens, this is worth a viewing, and I'm giving this one a 6 out of 10.